Hello, everyone. I'm Ellen,
And I'm Alyssa.
and this is 2024 Our Story. And today we have a very special guest. Blessing, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi everyone. My name is Blessing. As you said, I'm excited to be here. A little about myself. I'm from Dublin, Ireland, but I currently live in Arlington, Texas. I'm interested in majoring in human bio and minoring in English or art. We'll see, or maybe no minor, but yeah. And I'm on the pre-med track, so I guess safer for me. But yeah. So that's like kind of what I want to major in. As for stuff at Scripps, I'm currently first year class president, and I also serve on the African Student Association board. As I said, I'm African Irish, so that's important to me. And yeah, I think that's basically it for stuff. And I'm running for SAS, but that'll be over by the time this comes out. But yeah.
We will know by then. And yeah, as you can tell by her introduction, Blessing does a lot at Scripps, and we have been wanting to have you on here for forever. We just have been trying to think of the right episode, and this, during SAS elections, felt like the perfect time. So, Alyssa, would you like to introduce us to what we will be discussing today?
Yes, of course. I would love to. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about, as Ellen kind of said, we're going to be talking about SAS, which stands for Scripps Associated Students. So we're going to be talking about elections from the fall, and then we're going to be talking a little bit about elections, which are actually happening right now when we're recording this. It's April 2nd, 2021 right now. So just kind of exactly in the future. We'll see what happens. But for now,
Yeah.
we're just
gonna today actually, which is kind of funny.
Today is the last day of voting, right?
Yeah, voting is closed. They're gonna announce it like pretty soon. So we'll see.
But anyways, we can jump right into our questions for you because you have so much going on, or so much that went on at the beginning of the fall semester. As you mentioned, you were our first year class president, and we were wondering why you decided to run in the first place, just in general.
Yeah, let's see. So I think that I kind of was wary in the beginning of running, just because we're in like pandemonium times or pandemic times, and it's like I was like I don't know how that's gonna work out, but I think that I did a lot of like kind of like student government-ish things in high school. It wasn't always like student government per se, but it was like kind of like leadership and community building specifically. That was like really important to me because being an immigrant, it's hard to find your place. So I knew others who were like me. So I was like, well, like, you know what, let's build community. So I definitely like was always interested in that kind of aspect of things and being online. And I guess kind of backtracking to pandemonium times, being online and stuff. A couple of my friends and I were kind of like, it would be nice to meet people. So we kind of like started, well, it was credited to one of my other friends, but the saga of like 5C Zooms or like script Zooms. And that was a lot of fun during the summer. And it was like really great and a really awesome way to like meet people. I know a lot of people who became friends and more like myself through these Zooms. So I was kind of like, you know what, it would be like great to like continue this and continue initiatives that are like this. So yes, I was like, you know what, I might as well run for first year class president. So one of my friends, who is currently serving on SAS, encouraged me. She's my mentor, Sion, and she actually works for SCORE. No, I love her. Shout out Sion. But yeah, she encouraged me to run, and I was like, you know what, I'll just do it. Like it's been like, and I was definitely like very like what happens. I tried not to like let like the stress overtake me, but I kind of just like on a whim the day before, actually I was like, you know what, let me submit the thing because I actually have to submit it to run. So yeah, that's kind of just how I decided to run, was kind of just wanting to community build and to kind of like present student, I didn't say this earlier, but present like student issues to like admin and the board. That was important to me. I found that like I was always asking questions of whoever I could in the summer about like the fall and like contingency plans and things like that. And I was like, we kind of want to know because or else we're like stuck. So I found that like I really like to ask those questions, and I was like, well, I want like, you know, being first year class president, I'll also have like potentially easier access to be able to do that. So yeah, that's kind of in summary why I ran.
Yeah. And you talked a little bit about being kind of online and during pandemic times and stuff. So I know that you just said that you kind of like submitted it right before you had to, but how was like kind of preparing, or maybe not preparing, or just kind of running online specifically? Like I know that I saw a ton of people trying to run for, I think, first year class president, I think. So yeah, how was that?
Yeah, I learned this on SAS, but like first year class president is the most contested position. So it always has the most people running, which is very like nerve wracking. And I think that like I kind of went into it like, you know, the day before, I was like, you know what, whatever. And then like like it started and I was like, oh no, no, not whatever. Like as in like not like this is gonna be like a ride. But yeah, I don't know. How did I just blank on the question you just asked me?
Oh, just like running. Like, how was your experience running?
Just running in general. Okay, great. Yeah, I was like, wait. But yeah, no, it was like interesting because I mean, first of all, like there's like such a big thing with being online that I talk about, that it's like it's so hard to like reach everyone, you know. I think being on campus, I mean, obviously you can't reach everybody, but there's a different like dynamic, I feel like, even though we haven't been there, that you can like kind of go around. I mean, when people explained how they ran, like, you know, I went to like the core classes or I did this and that, and like you can't do that online. And so like the mostly the tools you have are like the social media, and then like maybe like other kind of chats, because even at the same time you can't like email everybody either. So it's really hard to do that. And also it's really nerve-wracking online, you know, to try and like create interpersonal relationships and connections, and also like try to make sure like you show your like most authentic self, you know. So I don't know. I think that like whole process was like kind of difficult. Also, I'm like not a big social media person. I participate like, you know, everyone else, but like I like don't like post videos of myself or stuff like that. And like, you know, because of the election, I kind of just had to like put it out there and be like, you know, hey everyone, like, you know. And I don't know, that was like something I'd never done before. So I think it was really I mean, I think it was like a positive, negative in that sense, that as in like I kind of, I mean, I'm very extroverted, but also like like social media extrovert, I feel like is different for me. So I think that I kind of had like became a bit social media extrovert, I guess, in quotations. But yeah, so there was that. And then also another part of it is kind of like, I guess, the like competition aspect of it. Like there's like a lot of people chose different ways to kind of campaign, I guess you could say, because we didn't have a campaign budget and there was really nothing you could do. All you could do really was like, you know, aside from the stuff that you had to do for SAS, you could, you know, make videos, you could do lives on social media. As I said, social media is like the big thing. You could create pages and all of that. And like I was like, again, like school was a lot, I'm pre-med, and then on top of that I was like, I'm like not like a great social media person. So I'm like, am I doing enough? Like am I presenting enough? Am I hosting enough, like, you know, events? Am I doing enough Q&As? You know, that was like whole process. And first of all, shout out to everybody who ran, because that was like a whole ordeal. I know, like during that time, but like you're constantly like comparing yourself to like the other people who are running, and you're like, I don't know, and like you try to gauge like, you know, interaction and stuff. And I don't know, for me, social media is like a really big like toxic place sometimes. And it's like very much like, for me, internal toxicity that like just comes from like feeling like I'm not meeting a standard. So I don't know. I think that played into the elections because we were online. So yeah, that's kind of like what it was like to run. But then there was like the big thing of like kind of messaging people and kind of reaching out and be like, hey, do you have any questions? And then answering the questions, and not being on campus, like there's not a lot that you really know about scripts. Like at that point, I mean, it was in the semester, but like you don't know enough. Like you don't know. And you like it was, I mean, I was lucky I kind of had like Sion and like some of my other mentors who were also kind of involved in SAS to answer questions, but it's hard because you don't exactly know what you can do as first year class president or in any SAS position, period. So you're kind of just having to learn or figure it out while you're also trying to answer questions for people. So there was that as well. So I guess that like kind of encompasses it. I mean, I will say it was like a rather stressful experience. It kind of feels like a fever dream, like every day of like the election process. But yeah, I think that definitely was like a big thing. And then with running, there was, I know I'm kind of like rambling, but with running, there was also, with, you have to get like 50% of the vote for any SAS position, whether you're running contested or uncontested. And this was like a very contested, you know, in comparison to other positions. But we ended up having a runoff election. Because nobody got 50%. So I think like it was like 30 something. So the two people with the highest amount, me and someone else, we had to run. We had a runoff election, like, and it was like voting it was like 2 days later. And I would tell you, those 2 days I was like really stressed because I was like, I just like I was like, I am kind of tapping out here. Like I was so like, kind of tired. But I was also like, I also felt like determined at the same time. But I also had like a whatever be will be, like if it's meant to be, it'll happen spirit. So it's kind of hard juggling all those emotions and trying to pick which one you're gonna stick to, because you kind of have to stick to something to like kind of like figure it out. I was very shocked when I won, actually. I got an email and I opened it in the kitchen and I was just kind of jumping up and down because I was so relieved. I was like, what the? And I almost like spilled my pancake batter, but it's okay because then I ended up having like great pancakes that day and finding out that I won. So that was like a really interesting experience. So yeah, I mean, running during online, I mean, it was kind of different this time, but like in the fall, it was a lot for me, to say the least. Yeah.
Really props to you and anyone else who ran in the fall.
Mm-hmm.
It seems so stressful to me, which is like it's just stressful in the first place that you don't know anyone from scripts going in. You're online, like you mentioned, it's hard to connect with anyone, and there's so many emotions going on, so much going on in the world, and you got through it. Also, did you do anything to celebrate when you found out that you did win, other than your pancakes?
Yeah, I don't know. I think like I called like a couple of my friends from the other colleges and I was like really excited. And then I think the next day I had like I mean the next hour I had chemistry, so that kind of like, brought down the energy a little bit. But then I think I went and got like cheesecake because it's my favorite. So I went to like Cheesecake Factory and like I just got like 3 slices, but I was like very happy. So yeah, that was kind of like my like celebration, was to like order cheesecake and do like chemistry problems, which doesn't sound that great, but it was great in the moment. My chemistry problems definitely looked way better than they ever have since that day. So yeah.
That is an amazing way to celebrate.
I also think I bought a bucket hat. I did. I got a bucket hat. I definitely like celebrate by getting myself something sometimes. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna get one. And yeah, I think I got like this like pink fuzzy one that day. So yeah.
I love seeing you wear bucket hats. It's like my favorite thing, especially the one that you're wearing right now. I know that people who are listening can't see it, but it's like blue and it has clouds on it and it's very beautiful and I love it so much.
It like totally matches Blessing's outfit. It's like the same blue as her shirt. It's like black. Oh, so nice. Blessing, so fashionable.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't know. I just love them. I remember that being a part of my campaign. I definitely like my like campaign slogan was not anything to do with like what I would do. It was like, oh, not the bucket hats, because like that was all I talked about at the time. But yeah. Not that that's what I focused on, guys. That was not my campaign, but I just like really like them. So yeah, thank you.
Okay, getting back to what we were talking about before. You had mentioned what you did while you were running, but once you became first year class president, how did you try and get people engaged within the class of 2024 and the Scripps community or the 5C community?
Yeah, there was a couple of things. So I kind of knew that like there was like an importance of trying to, I guess, try to connect each community, I guess, because you know with the 5Cs there's like so much, there's like the larger and then smaller kind of aspect of it. So as for like 5C, I immediately kind of connected with the other presidents. Shout out to them. And we kind of just like were immediately like, you know what, let's kind of like continue. Two of us had actually like been like 5C, like 5C Zoom people, like kind of like co-host is what we called it. So we kind of like were already friends, and we kind of like, you know, already saw like the impact of having like the events like the 5C Zooms. So we did continue the 5C Zooms. We do them like occasionally. So those are always like nice to like connect people and to have fun. We also did like kind of like school. So there was like, we did like a Scripps Pitzer event and a Scripps Pomona event and a Scripps CFC event. So like very much like kind of connecting like each of the schools, and like so people can kind of meet that way. And then as for like connecting Scripps community, I found that like there was a couple of ways. There was like a kind of big discrepancy between like, I mean, not discrepancy, that's not the word, kind of gap between us as first years and then like everybody else, because, you know, we hadn't met a lot of people. And I know like, I mean, if we're taking mostly like first year focused classes, then, you know, kind of only meeting first years. So you try to do like a couple of things that, you know, incorporated like interacting is the word, interacting with people from the like other classes. So for example, like Sion's software class president, we did a couple of like core related events, but also like so people could like not only meet sophomores but also kind of meet people who are interested in the same things they're kind of interested in academically, which could also lead to socially. And then also before I SAS, there was already the kind of idea of doing like the Pen Pal program. So that was kind of shit that I was kind of like a little bit started. And then once I kind of joined, then we kind of like kicked it off. And that was really fun because that, well, I mean, it was a lot of work for me, but I hoped it was fun for the people who got to write letters and kind of communicate with people. They could choose a first year or upperclassmen or both. So I think that was a nice way to meet or kind of interact with other people without the online thing, because Zoom fatigue is real. Internet fatigue, we all know, is like completely real. So yeah, I think that was nice. And then also continuing to host Scripps 24 Zooms, have like Scripps events. We just did like a tie-dye event last month, and that was fun. I sent out like these tie-dye kits and t-shirts, and we did it over Zoom and had a laugh. So that's nice. And then like, you know, communicating over social media, having forums to answer questions, just any way to like continue to hear student needs while also connecting communities. So in the best way possible, being online. So yeah.
Yeah, and for people who kind of didn't like go to as many, I feel like this is a good chance for them to hear about all the cool things that are happening, even though it's online. And it'll be even better, I'm sure, when we're in person, when that happens, hopefully in the fall.
Yes, fingers
just
crossed.
got the email.
We're excited. We just got the email. Yeah, I was like, yeah, we're kind of on our way. I'm getting my vaccine this week, so I'm also excited. So, well, not this week, next week, this coming next week. Yeah,
it's still coming soon. That's so great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you had mentioned the 5C Zooms were big over the summer, and then you did them the beginning of the year. I think you did a few in the middle too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so as we mentioned to you before this Zoom or our recording session, Alyssa and I weren't able to make those. But for you, as one of the student organizers, how was that experience? What was great about them that you really loved, or what were some aspects that were more difficult for you as an organizer?
I think that like there's like, yeah, obviously good and kind of like not so great. But yeah, I really enjoy. I've met like some of my closest friends through 5C Zooms. Um, and yeah, it was just really fun because you kind of like you come into it. I think like as an organizer, I think it was nice that like um I mean there's really good communication between the 5C presidents and like for the most part, and then also like when we were doing in the summer, like those of us who were co-hosting, like we kind of became like really close. So that kind of made it easier to kind of do it because you're like doing it with your friends. It's kind of um like hosting like a party, but not the same, but like with your friends. Like it's not just you who's hosting it. So because like hosting can kind of be like whoopie doo dah, but it's not a descriptive word, but it's fine. But yeah, so yeah, that was nice. And it was just nice to like see people like interact and like laugh and like also like get like DMs after saying like that was really fun. Thanks for organizing this. Like I've always like loved that. That always like makes me super happy. But yeah, I think it was just really fun. And then like also like just the really spontaneous things that would happen. Like we had like a spontaneous like rap battle one time. It was really fun. Actually, like if everyone knows Ella Lahavi from Scripps, Ella Ella participated in the rap battle. I mean, I also did, but mine was like really bad. So like, don't look for it because it's in the Google Drive somewhere. But we're just gonna forget that it happened. But yeah, my friend and I we just like started like rapping, and then like all of a sudden we were like, okay, let's have a rap battle with more people, and that was just really fun. So just like doing things like spontaneously like that was a really good time. Yeah, so and I think like some I guess not so great things. I mean, it like adjusted like with like being present versus in the summer and stuff. But like I think at one point they were like really late. So like sleep was a problem. Like I mean people would like be talking for we talk for a really long time and then I was like, oh it's kinda late, like So I mean I didn't have to stay all the time. Like we kind of like rotated or we kind of just left. But yeah, that was kind of a difficulty. And one to kind of go back to a great thing because it also kind of is like kind of a bad thing. But in the summer we kind of like established kind of I guess you could say like boundaries or like guidelines for these calls because like things certain things were like not gonna fly, like being transphobic, queerphobic, homophobic, racism, anything that like any kind of rhetoric that is harmful to others was like not like acceptable. And we kind of like laid that we said that in the beginning of the Zoom. And if we had like issues that came up, like someone DM that was an issue, we also like would like reach out to the person who was like the kind of like perpetrator of that harm, and we would sorry, that's so funny because SAS elections results just came out. That's so funny. But yeah. I mean we have a live opening. Would that be so funny? But let me finish my
My goodness.
but, yeah. But yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah. So we kind of like tried to make sure that we laid those boundaries and yeah, so that like harm would not be caused to anyone. So that was a great thing. I guess a kind of negative aspect is that like people weren't like for me personally, if someone like kind of like overstepped the boundary for me or they like perpetrated harm towards like me or others like in general, that was just not like okay. And it's like we're like we're student, it's like a student base, like, and it's supposed to be fun and enjoyable, and like we don't want anyone to be uncomfortable or like leave and not want to come back. And so like having those situations was like not the best thing at all. And like I don't know, I kind of think that like people kind of overstep their bounds sometimes. But I mean overall it was like a better experience, it was a good experience overall, but there were definitely like moments like where it was like personal like towards me or a friend of mine, and it was kind of like like let's like step back. But yeah, and then I guess another kind of like I guess daunting aspect is that you kind of feel like I mean just hosting in general, which is a part of my out of quote context, which is part of the out of context quote for TSL, but like kind of like hosting can be overwhelming. Like just like, because there's a lot. I mean, at one point there was like 140 people at a Zoom. So imagine that, and you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. It's just like very daunting. Because it's a lot of people. So yeah, I think that and you want to like make a good impression, and you also want to like be like your true self, but also at the same time like it's just like an interesting dynamic, the whole thing. So yeah, that's kind of what that was like.
I was just gonna say, is it too scary to look at SAS results?
No,
we don't have to put it in.
Yeah, okay, this is the moment. Okay, I'll open it. It's fine.
You got this, Blessing.
Dear Scripts, the results are in. Thank you all for blah, 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 participating in SAS elections. Big congrats to everyone. I don't see my name yet. Swipe, 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 swipe. Oh, okay. Yay, Scotland. Yay, I got it.
Woo! Go Blessing! Yay, now you can get cheesecake.
Yeah, now I can order cheesecake again. Oh, I'm so excited.
Yes, this time you don't have to do the chemistry problems either. It can just be the cheesecake.
Exactly. It's
even
a
more
Friday
enjoyable
too. It's a weekend celebration.
exactly.
Even better. Congratulations! We are so excited.
Oh my gosh, this is so fun. No, this is so fun. I had the least amount of people abstain from voting. That's so fun.
You really made an impression by being the first year class president. We all appreciate you.
Yay, thank you guys. That was fun. I mean, that was cute. Technically, like whoever gets elected as sophomore class president, there's going to be like a bit of like a transition-y period for SAS through the rest of like kind of April, and they kind of take on, and then boom. So like my like presidency is like ending basically like in the next like 2 weeks or so, or maybe 3, like less than that. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, I mean, it's been a fun ride. So yeah.
We don't want to take up too much of your time because you have to go get cheesecake and celebrate. But thank you so much for joining us, Blessing. We really appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, no, I loved it. Thank you guys for having me. And like, nobody be scared to reach out. I'm like so open to like talk or whatever. Everyone kind of knows, but like, this has been great. Thank you guys.
Of course.
We loved having you so much.
Alyssa took the words right out of my mouth.
We've been looking forward to this, and it met and exceeded all expectations.
Hey, thank you. I was hoping so. I hoped I would be a good guest. But yeah, no, I had lots of fun. That was such a fun thing to reveal. I can't believe the email came in like right when we were doing this. It's such a coincidence.
Perfect timing.
Right. Perfect timing. I can't wait.
You're gonna do amazing.
Thank you.
Well, we will let you go off and celebrate with more people than just us. Yeah, thank you for listening, everyone, and we will see you on the next episode of 2024 Our Story. Bye.
Bye.